All right, so before we get started, I wanted to holler out to everybody that's given us an iTunes review. Say thank you so much. Read your review real quick and give you a shout out. We can't thank you guys enough for the support. I know in the show I think I said I was going to read them at the end, but I'm going to put this at the front of the podcast because it is very important to me because our listeners are first priority to us. So obviously last week or the week before I think I said thanks so much to Aluminum Express. He said, love the podcast, guys. Keep it up and keep those tips coming with a 5-star review. So thank you so much for that. And we got one from Hoodbury. We got a 4-star from him. He says, love the podcast. Love Fortnite. 5-star. If Null Zero gets a better mic. Too loud is very clear. Null Zero is harder to hear. So we're working on that to get it fixed, buddy. Null Zero is actually in the process of getting a new mic, getting the exact mic that I have, so we can make the quality a little better for you, so you can come back and give us that 5-star. So thank you so much, Hoodbury, for that. Then we also have one from B-Berg, which I'm going to guess this guy is Brad Berg, which is a guy we play with occasionally, and he's a friend of ours, friend of the podcast, been a follower of ours for a long time. So thank you so much, Brad, if this is you. Otherwise, if it's just B-Berg, another B-Berg, thank you so much. But he said, gives us a 5-star, and he says, great content, guys. Keep up the good work. And then also we have one from Plop Frog, and he gives us a 5-star as well. Says, I listen to the podcast every chance I get. So thank you guys so much for those reviews. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the support. We hit over 500,000 listens on our RSS feed, which is our podcast feed this month. So thank you guys so much for that. We really appreciate it. And you guys are amazing. So thank you so much. And let's go ahead and jump into the show.
You're listening to the Fortnite Community Podcast with your hosts, 2LoudTX and Null Zero.
What up, and welcome to another episode of Fortnite Community Podcast, brought to you by GlomTom. Don't forget, guys, you can use the code Fortnite at glomtom.com to get 5% off and get your year started right with a GlomTom in your lap. So make sure you guys check that out and do that. Thank you so much to everybody that gave us iTunes reviews. I will be giving those shout outs at the end of the show, but I just want to say thank you guys so much. It really helps us. If you haven't done an iTunes review, please go and leave us an iTunes review. We really appreciate it. And of course, you can subscribe to us on Podbean, but not only Podbean, Null Zero. We've been doing a lot of work. Dropped 3 videos last week on our YouTube. So, go check out our YouTube. Right now we don't have like an extension because we're not big enough on YouTube to have our own extension yet. But you can go ahead and check it out. Just go to youtube.com and type in Fortnite Community Podcast and you will find it there. And Null Zero, you got some videos in the works, huh?
I do indeed. Been having issues with my PlayStation giving me my videos, but yes, videos are in the works. PlayStation likes to take forever to move a video from the PlayStation to a USB drive, and I've gone to sleep, and it just doesn't do it. I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is quite of a hassle to get it off. So yeah. Luckily, I got my Magewell, so I just connect that up and capture everything if I can. But yeah, definitely we'll have some more tips and tricks for you guys. Null Zero is going to be dropping some 90 seconds with Null Zero on there. So go check it out. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fortnite Community Podcast, and of course, leave us a follow and a little like, maybe a comment on Podbean.com as well. But we got a special guest today. Obviously, like I said, Null Zero's here once again, the one and the only. But
once again,
we also have a very special guest with us today. And to keep the confusion down, I'm not going to call him David. I'm going to call him Dr. Jew, and you guys might know him. Tom, Bob. But you guys might know him as MC Illusions on the Reddit page, but he is a moderator. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Welcome to the show, the humble show.
I'm aware my Reddit name is quite the thing to try and say.
Yeah, did I pronounce it correctly? MC Illusions?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Luckily I spelt it out so that I would say it correctly.
I'm sure when people see it, everyone in their head has their own way of how they think it should be said.
Yeah. So, but other people might know you as Dr. Jew, and so we're gonna get to know him a little bit on this show, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Obviously, hope you guys are checking out the Reddit, and if you've been around that community at all, you might know MC Illusions or Dr. Jew, and hopefully, you can give him a shout out as well. But we are really happy to have him here. Really happy to be associated with the Reddit at all, because you guys are doing a phenomenal job over there, bro. And we really appreciate what you guys are doing for the community. So let's jump in and get some questions, get some question and answers with Dr. Jew. All right, so Dr. Jew, give us a glimpse, bro, of like your gaming background. How did you get to this point? How did you become a moderator on, probably the hottest game out right now? Like, what did you grow up playing? Where'd you come from?
Well, I'm not that old. I mean, I don't know if you want to take a guess how old I am, but
18, 22.
close. I'm 19.
Hey,
Gonna be 20 in like a week.
awesome.
But yeah, so when I grew up playing, had a GameCube, PlayStation 2, all that.
What was your jam? Like, what was your first like addicted game?
I played a ton of Mario Kart and Smash Bros. With my little brother growing up. But
Two games.
I used to play a ton of Xbox. But then when I got to PC, I don't know, something about PC. You can be a lot more a part of the community, right, on PC, because on console, most of the time, those games you get into with people, once you're out of that game, most of those people, it's kind of hard to like talk to them again, unless you add them to all this stuff.
Right.
Well, on PC, we have really easy access. We got Steam, we got Reddit, and being away from console for a while, I started getting more involved with communities.
I got you.
Gary's Mod actually was the first game where I started becoming like a really active person in the community.
I saw you playing that earlier today, actually. Since I had you on Discord, I saw you playing that.
Yeah, I do make mods for Gary's Mod. I find it fun, and I've helped run communities before.
So, like, how did you get involved, like, doing Reddit? How did you, what is it that you do on Reddit for everybody so that they know?
So, I originally started out on the Paragon subreddit. Paragon, another one of Epic Games' games.
Yeah.
And I started playing Paragon, and I really thought what Epic Games was doing was different. I wanted to help be a part of that, and I decided to start participating on the subreddit. And after a while, I just started becoming friends with some of the people on there. Some of them who just happened to be moderators at the time. And I don't know, I guess I got my way into their inner circle.
Right.
And after a while, I started getting, connections with like people at Epic Games a bit. Like I talked to them every once in a while. And I remember one night I was messaged by one of the Paragon moderators he's the one who got hired by Epic Games recently.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
And he messaged me one night, and he's like, "Look, I'm about to tell you something. You're under NDA for the next 24 hours." I'm like, "Oh boy, what is this?" I'm like, "I didn't agree to this, but okay." And he's like, "Look, Epic Games, they're working on this new game mode, alright? It's called Battle Royale." And at the time, I didn't really care much for Fortnite.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm like, that sounds cool." And he's like, "Well, what do you need me to do?" He's like, "We need this subreddit by tomorrow. We need you to set it up." So, at like,
were you 11, a mod on the Paragon at this time? Were you already a mod?
I was already. I was actually. I don't know if I was. I had already been helping them out though.
I got you.
I think I was a mod, but anyway. It was like I spent a couple hours late at night putting up the subreddit for them, and I didn't think of it. I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be some little subreddit for them, and they put me as a moderator, and I was helping out. But I don't know, that subreddit just exploded.
Yeah. You said how many? You mentioned before the show. How many people did you have? Like you guys hit 1 million subscribers?
I don't know. We hit 100,000.
That's insane. That's still insane.
We're on our way to 1 million. I know, according to Reddit, it was one of the fastest growing subreddits of the year. One of the most active as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's new stuff on there every second. It seems like there's new things, and whether it be a tip and trick or somebody's fail video or a little gift that somebody's made. Especially on the like you said on the Battle Royale Reddit. It's continually something new to go laugh at or have a fun time with. So you guys are doing a great job. So like, what did you do for them? Like you say, set it up, and for some of the people that may be listening, they've never been to Reddit, so they might not know exactly what you're talking about. So like, what is setting up a Reddit like?
So, well, Reddit, Reddit is basically little self-contained sub-communities, right? People interested in a topic, in this case, Fortnite, and normally when you first create a subreddit, you got just the regular bland all the Reddit default theme.
Right.
And since I already had a lot of experience with the Paragon subreddit, and they thought I was capable of setting up Fortnite for them. So basically what I had to do was, we didn't have time to design something completely new. It was literally the night before launch.
Right.
So what he did was, it makes sense if we want to be consistent across the Epic subreddits. It makes sense if we just use the same kind of theme. So what I did was, I took the Paragon subreddit theme, and we basically tore it apart to the base and redesigned it to work for Fortnite. And Epic was really nice that night. They were giving me logos, backgrounds, anything I needed. They were pretty cool about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that definitely helps too when you got them there to help you out. That's pretty cool. So at this time, Fortnite was already out, right? Like the solo, like the multiplayer campaign was already out.
Yeah, they had PvE. This was their first PvP thing, so it's pretty big for them.
What month was that this year that this came out?
Shoot, I don't remember.
Was that
What, Battle Royale?
Yeah, was it? When was that? No Zero. Was that like September?
September.
Sometime. Yeah, sometime.
Yeah,
I think.
September.
I don't know exactly when. I'm pretty sure it was September.
So they had already announced prior to that they were going to have a multiplayer, like a different game type, right? But they just didn't know what it was going to be.
They kept teasing to everybody that they were releasing something big. Nobody knew what it was.
Right. And then all of a sudden it comes out, and you're so like, I mean, you had to feel pretty cool, right? I mean, here you are, like 19, getting the down low on probably one, the most popular game of the year, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I didn't think much about it, right? I didn't think Fortnite would explode like it did, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think you're with a lot of people. A lot of people thought, yeah, Fortnite came, it went, it was what it was.
Because I'm really big on Paragon, right? And as much as I love Paragon, it's just not something big right now at all. Right. And I kind of saw Fortnite under the same light.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I love what Epic's doing, but they haven't done anything like huge yet. So I didn't think it, but I don't know, I guess I'm glad that I was wrong.
Yeah, little did you know, right? Here we are today, with 100,000 subscribers on your Reddit page that you made in a couple hours. Say alone. So, how many times have you had to go back and redo this page? Like, have you had to make a lot of adjustments?
A lot of the mods I'm a full-time college student right now.
Yeah. What are you going to college for?
Computer science.
Well, there you go. So you're writing the code, learning it, doing it firsthand.
And I've just been hit with life the past couple of months, and it's been hard for me to keep with the back end stuff of the subreddit. Luckily, a lot of mods have been stepping up.
Right.
In terms of the CSS-wise stuff.
Right.
But
So how does that work? Like, as a team moderator, how many moderators do you guys have on this Reddit page?
on the Battle Royale subreddit, we just got a couple today. I think we have probably like 12.
And you guys constantly are just messaging back and forth. I'm guessing you guys got a group that you message in, probably
Yeah,
Discord or something.
we have a Discord.
And you guys are just working constantly on stuff, just messages all the time while you're sleeping. You're getting little dings of what's going on.
Yeah, everyone's constantly messaging each other if something's going wrong. Like if someone lets everybody know.
And like I was asking you before the show, like, you guys don't get paid to do this. This isn't like something you guys are making money off of, a little ad in the corner or something. You guys literally don't make any money.
No.
This is 12 people that are heavily invested in the community that just want to help the community grow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, the amount of traffic the subreddit gets. I mean, we have a moderation queue. Like, we manually review every single post that gets posted on there.
Really?
Yeah. We look at every single one just to make sure we feel it fits the quality for the subreddit.
Wow. Every post you guys are clearing.
It's difficult for us sometimes just because of the amount of traffic the subreddit gets, which is why we just got a couple new mods. I mean,
Jeez,
we have this little number in the bottom right corner of our mod toolbars, and the number maxes out at 100, which means that there are over 100 posts in the mod queue that nobody's reviewed yet.
Oh my goodness!
And then whenever we see that number hit 0, is like we did it finally.
And then here it comes again.
Like lately, that number like has never gone down below 100, and it's the most annoying thing.
Man, that's crazy. So what they're telling us, Null Zero, is they see our post for the Fortnite Community Podcast. They're just going to go ahead and put that at the top next time they see it. Just go ahead and put that one at the top so everybody can see it. No, that's awesome though, man. Like, so you guys, I mean, you really are truly not just like 12 guys that have this subreddit up that just let people post whatever and you're not keeping track of everything. Like, you guys have a quality here for the subreddit, which is really cool to hear about. Like, not just garbage getting stuck on the front page, essentially.
Unfortunately, sometimes stuff does slip through. You know, somebody approves something that shouldn't have been approved.
Have you ever done that?
I've done that. Sometimes I remove posts that shouldn't be removed, and then I get an angry message a couple minutes later. Why was my post removed? Oh, I'm sorry. That shouldn't have happened. And I'll tell you, some people really say some mean things, you know, when you remove their posts.
No way. Not on the internet, bro. People never say mean things on the internet.
The nicest place on earth.
I know, right? Like, who would have thought?
Wow, that's crazy. Well, so here you are. You build this subreddit. You get it all together. Then Fortnite launches, and you probably see immediately it taking off, right? Like, what has, like, what's been your favorite part about Reddit? Like, as far as like getting in there and doing this whole process, what's been your favorite part about it?
Well, my favorite part about the process, I guess it's working with the community.
Yeah.
I mean, as the moderators, we sort of, I don't know, we have the power to help issues get more known or to shut things down, you know. And some people argue that that's not a good thing always, and some people accuse us sometimes of working with Epic Games to censor certain things, or censor things about the game. But people don't understand. Like, we're just doing what we think is best for the community. We're trying to work with everybody.
Right.
And to me, that's my favorite part, is trying to help steer the community away from just garbage, right? Because, I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but some like copycat subreddits have popped up
Right.
about the Fortnite Battle Royale, like because they don't like the way we're doing things. And if you just go on those subreddits, it's just filled
With
with
nonsense. Yeah.
just nonsense and just tons of videos of people trying to promote their YouTube channels, and that's the kind of stuff we try and keep
Yeah.
away to a
I
certain extent.
I had mentioned to you prior to doing the show that give you a little background on things we had done, and we had worked with Ubisoft a lot on the Siege stuff, and we had gotten close to a lot of their moderators that were on that Reddit page, and they were telling us a little bit about the same struggle, right? And I'm sure every game goes through this. It's like, what is entertaining for somebody like me, right? That or even a non-content creator, right? So a fan of the game to go to the Reddit, like, what are they gonna see, right? And that's what they always said to us is like, we want to make sure what they see is like it's fun, it's entertaining, it's healthy for the community, vice versa, right? And if there's a complaint that it's a healthy complaint or whatever, it's not like the game sucks, you guys suck, go play PUBG, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want that on the front of the page, or whatever it might be. And so, those struggles I think are real probably amongst any game that you play with. But I definitely think it's pretty incredible that you guys view the post and you've been able to manage it as high as you have, to be able to promote that good content and the fun content that, every time I go on there on the first page, I can see, 10 things that I love and that make me laugh or whatever. And so that it's really cool. And obviously props to you guys for doing that. How could somebody that, maybe just find the Reddit or is already involved on the Reddit page, how would they become more involved if they wanted to? Is that just, hey, put in your time, put in your process, or maybe they're just a fan of the game. Like, how do they get involved in the Reddit community?
Now, people might not think that contributing to discussion matters a lot of times. Like, some people get into really heated discussions, and they like a lot of times they're about genuine things to talk about.
Right.
And I don't know, people might not think that they're just having a good argument with someone, but like other people notice that stuff, and I think that if you just participate in discussion, if you show that you're willing to, put in your word and not be crazy about it.
Yeah, be respectful to others.
You don't need
that kind of
to
thing.
go about insulting other people or or saying how much you hate Epic Games or doing whatever. If
Right.
people will know your name. I've seen this happen on both Paragon and Fortnite subreddits. If you are consistently talking with people about stuff and not being an ass about it, people will say, hey, I know that guy. I always see him in discussion. He always has something to say.
Right.
Some people also make a bad name for themselves. And sometimes we'd love to like ban somebody, but technically they haven't done anything wrong yet.
Right. I mean, as far as the Reddit page goes, like, is there anything new coming? Anything that like you want to tell the listeners about? Like, do you guys work on new stuff all the time, or anything secret you can tell us about?
Me and one of the other mods, J June, me and him have been wanting to redesign the subreddit for a while.
Right.
We just been, I don't know, our own lives have been keeping us busy, but
we totally understand that.
I think I can say this, but I think we got around 200 moderator applications.
Holy cow!
For the subreddit, and not everyone we thought was fit for moderator, but there's some people in there who have some really interesting backgrounds who I think be useful for other stuff,
right?
Not just moderating. And I'm sort of hoping to bring some of those people on to help do the redesign. because I mean the subreddit looks fine right now, but I don't know. We've always sort of had ideas we wanted to try,
Right.
and it's hard when it's two people who live like 10 hours apart in time zones. And
Yeah. No,
yeah,
we understand the struggle of creating content across the world, don't we, Null Zero?
Yeah,
Different people.
sure.
So, well, man, that's awesome, guys. If you want to get involved in the subreddit, make sure you guys do. Like, go like Dr. Juice said here. Like, take the plunge, go over there, start getting involved in the conversations, start getting involved with what's going on. The address for everybody so they know is www.reddit. That's reddit.com/r/FortniteBR. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely go there, get involved. And like he said, there's also a regular Fortnite if you're into PvE stuff. And we'll talk about that a little bit on our PvE show as well. But you can go over to that Reddit as well. And it's reddit.com/just Fortnite. So the only difference in them is the BR for Battle Royale. So you guys go over there, get involved, talk, be respectful, do your thing, have fun with it. But if you want to get involved even more, like Dr. Juice said, just get involved in the conversation. Be nice, be respectful.
read the rules.
Read the rules, yeah. And follow them. It's that simple. It's like what I tell my kids. All you get is follow the rules, and you can do whatever you want. Well, let's go ahead and jump over here and talk a little bit about what the Reddit's about, which is the Battle Royale itself, the game. All right, so here we are. This week, we got a whole new playlist. And, Null Zero, we talked last week about how, 50-50 went away, and we had high explosives, which was a lot of fun for us. We thought it was really cool to break up the monotony of, maybe you're getting aggravated at a solo or a duo or a squad game, and you want to go, break that up a little bit. High explosive seems to do that. This week we got Sneaky Silencer. So tell me first off, right off the beginning, Null Zero, what do you think about Sneaky Silencer?
I was really excited for it.
And?
I think it's okay. The biggest mistake, I think, is there's too many shields.
Yeah.
Which, and the high explosives made a lot of sense because it was the only way you could really survive some of those fights. But
yeah.
in this, people are carrying, a lot of shields on them. So even when you pop a shield, you're going to fight the guy again. If you have to do anything, if you can't kill him right then and there, you're going to deal with more shield. It's just a lot of shields. That's my biggest complaint with it, is just the amount of shields that are everywhere.
Yeah. What about you, Dr. G? I mean, how have you enjoyed Sneaky Silencer? Is it what you thought it was going to be?
I sort of agree with Knowles here in that it's the shield problem. I do like the game mode personally.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of it's a different from what you're normally playing. You expect different things to happen.
Well, we got the silencer pistol. I mean, I know No Zero, we love that pistol though.
I love the pistol. I love the game mode. I love the pistol.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good addition to the game. I think it hits like a truck, man.
It has a little bit of, it suffers a little bit of the problem I've talked about, where you get so many items and it gets hard to slot things over, certain things. So the pistol's great early on, but I find it hard to slot later into the game.
Well,
it's fun. I'll throw it in, but it gets difficult if I'm not gonna unless I'm gonna drop, 2 supporting slots and do 4 weapons.
Right.
1 supporting slot, but I don't know. It's getting really hard to slot some of the things. You got Boogie Bomb now, and smoke grenades I barely see at all being used because it's just, like I said, it's just getting so hard to slot things. Like in the initial drop, and there's you're in a town and everybody's grabbing this stuff. Yeah, they'll use the Boogie Bombs. They're going to use the smoke. So they'll use everything at their disposal to win that massive fight in that city. But then they're going to get back into their comfort zone and head on out.
Yeah, I think it is the problem that we talked about a long time ago, right? As far as how many items Like, at what point did they say, like, no more items because we're not getting use out of these other ones? You know, or do they readjust it? I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, do you have a worry about that at all, Dr. Jew? That like there'll be too many items in the game and you won't be able to pick it, like what you want to put on your hotbar.
I definitely think that's something Epic's gonna have to address at some point if they do keep adding stuff. I mean, obviously, like your inventory space is at a premium already, and if they add all these cool things, and you're stuck with only a small fraction of what you could have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we already see this kind of stuff on the subreddit of people talking about this sort of stuff. And
Well, yeah. I
um,
mean, there's a video on there right now where Ninja's going through there, and he's like dropping, picking up, something to get it out of storm, like it's a health pack. And he's like dropping, picking it up, drop it, pick it up, and just so he could use the health pack and then pick his shields back up. Right? So, like, I mean, I'm sure that's not the first one you've seen either of that. So,
yeah, in a way, I kind of do think that I understand that it's to keep the skill there in a way, right? Because you have to know what you need at that time,
right?
If they just let you carry around anything, then who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Just take everything.
Yeah, like if you had a backpack, I don't know what kind of game would do that, but like if you had a backpack, you just put a bunch of stuff in.
Just hoard everything.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
the thing I can say is I think that if you get to a point where, and maybe this is their strategy, maybe you get to a point where there's so many items that you're not guaranteed. Because like right now, you're guaranteed. If I drop, say, like Greasy Grove, and we do well and we wipe out the team and I do our quad, I'm almost guaranteed to have a decent shotgun, an okay AR, and probably a sniper rifle. Almost guaranteed. At least for one of us.
This actually happened to us today before we got on the show. We actually cleared Greasy. We had, Pleasant Park.
Yep.
We had, what was it? It was like 15 kills, right? We wiped out like multiple teams in the squads, me, you, and Kyle. But none of us had a shield, and there was no shield or shieldy to be found. Right. So if that did continue on, like you're saying, like there's so many items, you don't know what you're going to get now, right? There's not a guarantee that you're going to open a chest and you're going to get a health pack or bandages.
Yeah, I think that that could be where their thought process is and where they're, planning on it going eventually. I could see that because then it's like, well, and forgive the PUBG reference, but like, PUBG, if I land in a town, it's not guaranteed I'm going to end up with a sniper. It's not guaranteed I'm going to end up with an AR.
Yeah,
I might go through a whole town and I end up with a couple pistols and something else. Like, so maybe that's their goals to kind of get to that point where there's so much, in the inventory space that it's not so much that, well, I have to cherry pick amongst these things because they're always available, but it's more like, well, I have this stuff and this is what I'm going to have to make work. I have, the shotgun, a boogie bomb, and maybe.
But does that slow the game down? If all of a sudden now people aren't getting the AR they're looking for, so they're farming more, does that slow the game down? Because I think one of the positives to this game versus other Battle Royale games is the pace.
I don't think it slows the game down. People are still gonna. The game still. Look how people play now. They loot. They go after each other. I mean, I think. I've said it before. We've said it multiple times. Like the best way to find loot is kill people.
Yeah.
Way better than shooting or opening a chest.
Yeah. Let them collect it for you, right?
Yeah. Go kill people. You're gonna find the stuff you need.
As far as going back around to Sneaky Silencer, like. I had this idea, and I told you we were going to talk a little bit about it, is what I would do different to that game type, right? And like for me, I don't know. I haven't seen smokes in Sneaky Silencer, so I don't know if smoke nades are in there or not.
They are.
They are? Okay, so I think that's really cool, but I think what I would love to see is no footstep sound at all. Like, all that's there is literally just gunfire sound for FX and opening doors and chests or whatever. I would love to for it to be super sneaky, with no feet, no footsteps. I mean, what do you think about that, Dr. Ju? Me and Noel Zero talked a little bit about it. What do you think about having sneaky silencer really be sneaky?
I think that would definitely help it. I mean, I think without the footsteps, it'd be scarier, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just gonna open up a door and someone's just gonna be there suddenly. You had no idea because you didn't hear them coming.
They'd
Right?
be sneaky. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think Epic is with these game modes, they're trying to be different, but there also seems like they're not trying to change things too much from the core.
Right.
When
Right.
I think people would be okay if they did, if it meant a better game.
Yeah.
Well, and I see the game modes, for these game modes, I feel like it's kind of like two-pronged. It's like, one, it's something to kind of break up the regular BR play and give you something different to play. But also, I feel like they should use it more experimentally. Think about, they should take ideas they had for regular BR and test them in this playground, because it's a limited time event, and once it's gone, it's gone. They don't have to worry about any promises or commitments and breaking any of those things. They can go in and try anything, turning off footsteps even if it's just like, hey, when you have a bush potion on, maybe that's when you don't hear your footsteps. Maybe that is part of the camouflage, is you also have dampened or no footsteps.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like they could use this as a testing ground for ideas that they have, because I know they have plenty.
Well, we're gonna get that shooting model, right? That was accidentally leaked, right?
Yeah.
And some people play it. Are we gonna get that probably on console? Because we primarily play on console. Are we gonna get that just in a playlist? Do you think, No Zero?
That's what they said they were doing, because they can't do a PTR on console. That's the thing, and they want everybody's feedback. And so, and I commended them on that podcast when we talked about this. I really commend that they said, you know what, let's make it a game mode to test it and have everybody be able to play it, because they, like I said, they can't put a PTR on the console. And that's the only way to get the feedback across all the platforms.
Yeah. I mean, as a whole, Dr. G, have you, number one, which of the special modes that we've gotten, 50-50, high explosive, sneaky, silencer, which one's your favorite, or have you played the most of and enjoyed the most?
I'll admit I did like 50v50 a lot by my friends.
Really?
I think it was always just, I don't know, it was always broke down to the same thing every time. But I thought it was hilarious. Where everyone on both teams would just naturally form a clump, right?
Yeah.
And then it just became two armies wandering the map. And if you got broken off from your team, all you just died, right?
Yeah, you just got slaughtered. Yeah.
I would lose my way from the group, and all of a sudden there'd be 12 guys in the same building I'm in. And then I'm getting beat to death by pickaxes or something.
Right.
Yeah. At the end, it just became chaos. Usually, if two teams both managed to survive long enough. Because a lot of times, I would end up where one team will just roll another. But sometimes it would just break down in this massive battle of chaos.
Yeah, that's definitely the best. I had a couple, I probably played a total of 15, 20 games of it max. But there was a couple instances where I remember one, it was, 10 versus 10 at the very end, and they were building these massive bases in Final Circle, and going out, and that was really fun, but that didn't happen enough for me. That's, I guess that's the part I wanted to see more happen, and it didn't. And then the other thing was for me, it felt and me and Noel Zero talked about this on other shows, 50-50 seemed to be more of that, hey, if you've never played this game, jump in. But it's funny that you play on a different platform and you got a different experience out of it.
Yeah, I quickly realized is that the game mode is all about hive mentality, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is just gonna tend to do what everybody else is doing on your team usually.
Right.
Like if a few people start heading off in one direction, it's like everyone just follows,
A bunch of ants. Yeah.
right? And I realized after a while, like, okay, if I lead the hive mind, I can help C get done what I want to play.
Right.
So what me and my friends do is we try and lead the group, and we would be the ones starting to build these massive structures, and everyone would just start helping.
Yeah.
If you want to have the big battle experiences, you kind of have to take the initiative. You can't, or else the hive mind is just gonna do whatever it wants.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. And I'm interested to see, like, I'm sure they're looking at the numbers, like how many people played 50 vs 50, how many people played high explosive, how many people are like continually playing sneaky silencer. And hopefully at some point they, come back and say, hey, this was popular, or they just keep putting these things in rotation. I think that's probably what more than likely what we'll see is continuing to rotation, which, I mean, like you said, you guys going through moderating all of the things that are coming on the Reddit. Like, which one seemed to get the most push in publicity? Like, was it 50-50 because it was the first one? Or was it high explosives?
Definitely 50v50.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when it was announced, the amount of posts about it, it was just insane. Like, we have a rule, no duplicate posts,
Right.
that we try to enforce, but it's really hard because, like, especially when big things get announced, like everyone's excited about it, everyone wants to talk about it, and so we try and remove, like, if everybody's posting about 50v50, like, we kind of, sometimes I feel bad removing because, like, I know people are excited and they want to talk, but you gotta follow the rules. But definitely 50v50 had the most stuff. I mean, when they announced it was coming back again for like another week or whatever, like, again, there was like 20 or 30 posts an hour about it's coming back, it's coming back.
So No Zero, it did have all the excitement. Obviously, the PC side really loves 50 vs 50. Is what he's telling us.
Maybe.
Well, that's, I
mean, my only complaint with 50-50 is I think that it's a good mode, just not fully realized. I feel like my experience with 50-50 was typically the initial drop happen, and then whoever, if you could stay even, you could have a pretty decent 50-50 match as far as numbers were concerned. But typically, the drop would happen, one team would be grossly outnumbered, and it would be just a steamroll after that.
Yeah.
No matter what happened.
Yeah. I don't know if that was like more console related, like you said. Is that just kind of a thing that happened on our platform a lot versus PC? I don't know.
I've seen a lot of good comebacks though in 50v50 where one team gets like 20 guys ahead, and it only takes like 2 or 3 guys to start popping off,
hammering people,
just killing people left and right to bring it back to even. And, like, even when it's some guy on the other team doing that to us, I'm like, wow, that guy's really, really getting my team.
I saw a lot of cool things on the Reddit in regards to 50-50 before we move on here, was like different ideas people had for the game type. I saw one, like, they had like a storm in the middle for the first couple minutes, and the guy had it like drawn out and had the whole thing done. And like they took some time. People take some time coming up, putting their ideas down on paper on the internet and on that Reddit. But it's a lot of different cool. Starting off, maybe not even dropping out of a bus, having 2 buses, and one start at Pleasant and one start over near Fatal. Like, I saw that post. Like, a lot of really cool ideas. So I hope Epic looks at, whether it be 50 vs 50 or high explosives. Like, for instance, with high explosives, I was telling David, like, what I think would be really fun with high explosives is to have like a ridiculous amount of tires on the field. Like, just so people could jump and rocket like everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that would be fun to me. Like, watching people like jump around, or a bunch of jump pads in different places, launch pads to like rocket people. That's fun. Like, it's fun to watch that. And we had one event where like there's like 2 or 3 like launch pads, and people are coming at us and we're going at them, and we're landing and shooting and jumping on the pad and going to the other side and landing and shooting. And so, like, whether it be that or whether it be changes to 50-50 or, change the stinky silencer like we talked about, I hope that they come back and like, oh, we're gonna keep trying things, like No Zero said, on these game modes and see where they lead us, right? And see if they can really give us some of those really different experiences, which is, I think, really different about Epic in this game compared to a lot of other Battle Royale games is, dude, they're just throwing everything at the wall right now, trying to see what sticks.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see what happens. Last thing, go ahead.
If what I've seen in the past from Epic, Paragon especially, is that they're not afraid to try what people might think is stupid, right?
Right.
Because you don't know if you're gonna like it or not, and if you don't like it, they'll make it right.
Right.
They've shown that they can do that with both games, and I think that they definitely want to do it. They're trying to do what they think the community will love.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So,
well, I think it's, obviously they reached out through you and you talked a little bit about, how your interaction with them. But I think what's really cool is how involved Epic directly is in the community as well.
Yeah.
Right. Not only just working with the Reddit pages, but on their direct forums, on, whether it be on their Discord chat, whether it be on their Twitter, like they're constantly being involved in the community. And that, we've said it before, we were tied up in the Destiny community for a long time. And like having that, the communication from a developer like that and having them involved speaks, thousands of, it's incredible to have that type of communication and to be able to depend on, hey, like, do they hear us? Right? Are they acknowledging what's going on? And Epic continually does that with Fortnite, which I think is really cool. It's a lot like, I mentioned before the show, a lot like Siege did, or, and Ubisoft did. Those guys are incredible. And, whether they made the changes or not, they were making sure that they were out there in front of the community saying, hey, we hear you. Like, we're looking into that, right? And we're discussing that, or we're working to make the game better. Speaking of make the game better, these daily challenges. They've been out for a while now. We talked about the Battle Pass last week, some of our concerns, some of the things we like about the Battle Pass, some things we don't like about the Battle Pass. But one thing that I brought up this week to you, Null Zero, was daily challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think there needs to be some changes made to these, but this is obviously my opinion. And I would like to hear, from you guys, what do you think? But, like, making daily challenges not specific to playlists. Like, for instance, if I got to get in the top 25, like, let me get in the top 25. Just say get in the top 25 of a playlist. Right?
Yeah.
Don't say get in the top 25 of solos. Don't say get in the top 25 of squads, because I get on at night and I might only have an hour to play. And you're on it and you're hitting me up. And I'm like, well, dude, let me go do this thing so I can get my freaking battle pass done. Let me jump into solos and get in the top 25, and then I'll come play with you.
Yep.
Like,
what do you all the time?
What do you think about that, Null Zero?
I mean, I don't like it, but it's gotten me to play some more solos than I typically do. But I'm of the mindset, like, dude, I want to get on and play with my friends. I want to do what I want to do. And the challenges, I feel, should kind of help that, instead of like, oh, well, no, you need to go play, like you said, go play solos. You're going to have to go play some solos for a little bit, and then you can play with your friends. I agree that it should be changed. I also would like to see more variety. I feel like there's not a ton of variety. I get the same challenges like every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're more creative than that. So I would like to see a little bit different challenges.
I definitely think that about making them playlist specific is a bad thing. Because, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's forcing people to play, what they, would typically not prefer to.
Right.
I do think there's a lot of potential to do, make people do stuff while still letting them play whatever they want. Like, you'd have challenges like, heal 200 damage in a game, or, do
Right.
150 explosive damage or something.
Yeah.
A match or something like that.
Ride a rocket for a mile. Right.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that kind
I
of
love
crap
to
would
see
be
that happen.
those would be fun, right? Those would be fun ones to do. I think, like No Zero said, I think they can definitely get creative with them.
Now, I do think that encouraging playing other game modes is good, but I feel like that they should make those like bonus challenges or something. Like, still allow you to complete your battle pass. I mean, paid for that. To a lot of people, they
So
want to do it.
what I didn't know until yesterday is I accidentally clicked in. So on PlayStation, I clicked in, I think on the left thumbstick, and all of a sudden I brought up a menu which was my quest or my challenges,
Yeah.
and I didn't know they were in there, and it gave me an idea. It's like, what if they gave you a challenge that said like top 25 and top 50 or 5 games in solo, and like these are in the same thing together, and you pick one of those and you get the 5 stars, right? Or the 5 challenge points. And so they gave you maybe multiple areas, or like Null Zero said last week, like re-roll it. Re-roll it.
Yeah.
You know, re-roll the challenge that you currently have or the quest that you currently have.
I mean, because I get so I will say I think that there is something to be said about nudging people in directions that maybe they wouldn't typically go. I do think that is kind of important. Maybe someone doesn't ever play solos, but they start getting some challenges there, and they actually start playing solos because they find enjoyment there, right? Or maybe you never play any of the special game modes and nudging people into trying them. And maybe, oh, I do love sneaky silencers or 50-50 or whatever. So I do think there's something to be said about that. But I also think maybe one re-roll a day. Most games, especially in the mobile scene, if you look at any game that has like a challenge associated, like first thing that comes to my mind is Clash Royale. They have daily quests to go do. You can re-roll one a day. And they even have it in the Fortnite PvE where you can re-roll your dailies at least one a day. So it's already in the game. Just put it in BRs as well, so that when Troy gets on and doesn't have a lot of time to play that night, he doesn't have to do it in solos.
Well,
like was it last night?
Yeah, it was last night.
No, yeah, it was last night. You were like, I had to do these solo things first, and then you played like 2 or 3 games with us because you had stuff to do early this morning, so you couldn't stay up last night. And it's like, well, we wasted, at least an hour of Troy's time doing that instead of being able to play with his friends and, still progress his battle pass.
So yeah, I mean, if they put that in while they're putting in the reroll option, just go ahead and stick in the combat controller option into the PvE as well, please, so we can have that. I'm still asking for it. I'm never gonna stop asking for that until I get it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, put that in, please.
Oh, combat control and PvE.
Yeah, I really want it. I know.
I don't know why that
times.
hasn't happened yet. And the funny thing is, I don't see it on Reddit that much.
Yeah,
I've never really seen it on Reddit that much.
You know what?
I'm like,
Dr. Jew, we need you to do something for us. Send a private message to Epic and tell them, please put in the combat controls into the PvE. All right, you get on that for us. Well, hey, let's jump into actually this week's Reddit topic of the week. Got a Reddit topic of the week and a tip of the week coming from Reddit as well. So let's go over the Reddit topic of the week. And this comes to us from our boy Wiz Rants. And he says, imagine that the title of his post is Fortnite replay mode theater would be amazing. Imagine being able to replay all of your battles throughout a match of different angles. I'm sure we are for a while away from something like this happening, but I really hope this is something in Epic's bag of tricks that they have later for us down the road. I mean, what do you guys think about this?
I know that both Unreal Tournament and Paragon have their own forms of replay systems. So it's definitely something that Epic has done before.
Yeah, and they're used to it. Yeah.
And Paragon's just in kind of a bad spot right now. Unreal Tournaments is is all right, but they're definitely pretty fleshed out systems. I don't see why they couldn't bring it over to Fortnite.
What do you think, David? Do you think this is like necessary? I mean, there's a lot of
Yes.
apps on PC. There's a lot of things for.
It's absolutely necessary because you talked about custom games and how awesome would it be for someone to put together a red versus blue style thing for
Don't
this,
steal my idea.
for it.
Don't steal my idea.
And you can't do that without getting different. I mean, you can. People have done it in the past where they use characters in game to capture that footage. But it'd make it a lot easier. And I've played around with Unreal. I've said this before on the podcast. I've messed around with the engine. I've done some stuff in the engine. And so I know the tools a little bit. And I don't think it's very difficult for them to put. I don't know about the theater mode, but once that's up and running, being able to see your footage in game, I don't feel like being able to make different, camera angles and stuff like
Right.
that would be wouldn't be that difficult to actually throw that in.
Well, that's one of the coolest things about, that I think Halo and Bungie was on top of a long time ago was doing that replay in Halo, right? And having that. I haven't seen that. I can recall a game where it's like become, red versus blue popular since then. But it would be really, really cool to have it in here. I think it's a really cool idea. I didn't even think about that because we have the record button, right? And I thought, oh, why would I need that? But like you're saying, different angles, being able to look at things differently, take some cool screenshots, do some cool videos.
Not only that, but think of how you could lay out a video like, say, I had a match the other day. I was solo versus squad. I did a no-fill in there, right? And I was in Broken House and Retail Row. I placed a trap inside the building, and I had taken out a whole team with using the trap and shooting. Okay, so I was center of circle. Another team shows up, and I handle that team, and then another team shows up, and I get most of that team before I die. But being able to have set up different angles and show that battle take place over the time period that it did, and in those different angles, it'd be really cool to kind of be like, well, look at how they kind of set up and then how they addressed the situation and how I handled it. So I don't know. I feel like that could be really cool videos you could put out instead of saying oh, I'm going to put out this montage of me killing a bunch of people. It could be, let me put out this really cool, theatric scene of how I addressed the situation.
Would you call it your photography?
Sure.
I do think it's definitely would be a good tool for content creators, though. A lot of
be awesome.
things that could happen.
Like I said, I want to make it like a red versus blue version of Fortnite. Because you could totally take these characters and make up certain things. So if somebody takes that idea, all I ask is let me voice one of the characters. That's it. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, I know that in terms of Fortnite, that I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of networking stuff involved in the engine that Epic didn't ever expect the Unreal Engine to do in Fortnite. And that could be a potential issue of why they haven't released something.
I got
I
you.
mean, because replay systems were released early on in both Unreal Tournament and Paragon, right? And they both have sort of weird custom game systems, and Epic's trying to bring that over to Fortnite. I saw.
I got you.
I don't know if you saw the people talking about that on Reddit about the enter a matchmaking code.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the system that Paragon uses.
Ah,
Right? It's a matchmaking code. You basically generate whatever code you want. You type whatever random crap, and if anyone else who enters that code searches for a game, will connect to anyone else using that code.
I got you.
And that's sort of how they do custom games. It's weird, but it works.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think that's sort of part of the replay system because they have to. Introducing custom games brings up a problem of match IDs, which Paragon had this issue. Because every game has its own unique game ID, and the only way you can watch back games is if you get that ID.
Yeah.
And if in terms of Paragon, you can only see your last 10 games or so, and you can't go any further back. So unless you use like a third-party site or something that tracks your games, once that game is older than 10 games, there's no way you can go back and watch it anymore unless you know that ID. And maybe they're trying to do something different with Fortnite. Maybe they're redesigning the whole system. That might be it.
It'd be cool.
It's kind of bad.
Well, it'd be cool to see. That's for sure. It'd be cool to see what people come up with, and obviously for them to give us that tool. Well, let's jump over to our last section, our tips and tricks.
You ask, do we have tips? Of course. And do we have tricks? Oh, yes, we do. So listen up.
All right. So, tip and trick, as I said, coming from us from the Reddit page. And I believe it's Mabil, but he spells it I-V-I, so it looks like an M, I believe. A-B-I-L. So, maybe it's Ivable. I don't know, but I'm going to go with Mabil. And he titles this, Edit the Roof Tile Pre-game to form a down ramp so you don't have to ever rotate the default ramp. So, guys, go check this out. I'll put it in the show notes, but basically what he's doing is he's taking the roof tile and making it so it is a down ramp, as his title says, so that he doesn't have to switch ever. I mean, Null Zero, is this something you would use? Is this like something that you would, actually use in game?
I'm gonna try it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
The biggest deal for console, I think, is that because it's a little different on PC. Obviously, how everything works, you can individualize each building piece.
Yeah.
As far as a key. So, I don't know. For us, I think it actually might be a really good idea because I don't really use the roof feature very often, except for what I was telling you before the show is I typically will cover up guns with it or different things I don't want other people to find necessarily. That I'm
or
leaving
yourself.
behind.
You've covered yourself up before to hill.
I've covered myself up before too, yes. That was actually before I saw the stuff about people doing it on YouTube, but yes, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about the building mechanic though in this game is like there's about probably 100 ideas and only so many have been used so far. I mean, Ninja's definitely really into the building and pretty creative with it. But yeah, this is a good idea, I think.
As far as these type of techniques and things go, obviously you see them a lot on the Reddit, but like Dr. G, like have you tried this one already since it's up there? Have you?
No, I haven't. It seems like something to be useful. I mean, I probably died a lot just building before trying to get the right thing.
Yeah, I think we all have for sure. I don't use a down ramp very much. That's the only thing, but I can see how it would come into play.
Well, going downhill.
Yeah, I slide a lot though. I'm gonna save that other trick for that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, like,
I'm just saying it's more
incline.
consistent to build a ramp down a hill than to build ramps underneath you as you're falling.
Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it. I mean, most of the time I can build underneath me no problems. But there are times where I build it. It's like my character goes through the building, or you know that it. Sometimes it doesn't appear right, and so like peer maybe too far into the mountain, and I don't get caught at all. So.
Right. Well, guys, as always, thank you so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. You can shoot us a review on iTunes, as I mentioned, guys, at the beginning of the show, and you can also follow us on podbean.com. You can file all your complaints as well at fortnitepodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you like, what you dislike about the show. You can follow me on Twitter at TooLoudTX, Null0 at Null0, NOLXERO, and Dr. Jew at the Dr. Jew, just spelled out the Dr. Jew. And you can follow us, our podcast as well, at Fortnite Podcast. Dr. Jew, tell everybody, how else could they get in contact with you if they want to get in contact with you or learn a little bit more about the Reddit?
Well, as you see on Reddit, I'm MC Illusions. Discord, I'm Dr. Jude 6931.
Awesome.
So,
Hey guys,
anywhere's free.
make sure you check out the Reddit, right? Make sure you go there, reddit.com/r/FortniteBR, and also we have the regular Fortnite Reddit as well. So guys, make sure you check that out. And until next time, dance out those kills and boast in those victory royales.